Hi folks, today what I'm going to show you is how to make jump rings. And jump rings, if you didn't know this already, are actually used for earrings so that you can have a means to clip on your earring onto your earring clasp. So just to show you really quick with this earring that I have already made, I already put a jump ring on it, and basically a jump ring is just a circular ring made out of wire, and if I twist it, you'll notice that the area of the jump ring, you can kind of see it if I put it on the side a little bit, it actually becomes open, so you can take things in and you can put things out of it. So it's pretty common on most jewelry pieces, but it's just used to attach latches, hooks and things of that nature whenever you're creating jewelry. So this is going to be a relatively quick video just to show you, but I do want you to make 5 small ones and 5 large ones. This way when you're making your earrings you can really kind of choose. In some cases you are going to need to use more than one jump ring, and you may not want to put 2 big ones together. You may want to put a big one and a small one together. So to make these jump rings, what you're going to need are a couple materials, and one of those materials is going to be some wire, and I actually have a pile of wire like this in class, so you can just pull out one thread for yourself, and it's relatively soft, very easy to bend. I would avoid bending it right away from the get-go, so that way you don't have to worry about kinks in your wire. The other thing you're going to need to make the thick ones, or the thick jump rings, you're going to need one of my thick dowels, and then for the smaller ones, which are going to be a little harder, you're going to want to use a skewer. So I would recommend, just because this can be a little tedious and a little difficult, start off with a thicker one before you move on to the skinnier ones. The last thing you'll need is a pair of snippers. You want to grab a small pair. I have quite a few pair in class. Don't have a full class set, so some of us may have to share, but I don't think everybody's going to be doing this at the same time anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my dowel. I'm going to start by putting my wire, I'm going to hold it with my thumb down against the piece, so I've got a little extra slack. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully take the wire and I'm going to wrap it around my piece. And what I would recommend is, as you're wrapping it, try to get the coils of it to be really tight together so it almost looks like a really pushed together spring. And what I'm going to do is actually take this and push it up a little bit. The wire's really soft, so it should be relatively simpler to do. Okay, but it is going to require a little bit of finger strength. And because I want 5 of these, I want to make sure that I have 5 coils. So right here is one full one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go around again for 5. And just err on the side of caution. I'm going to go around a couple more times just in case I have some ones that don't snip off that easily. So I'm not going to use up my entire string. Obviously I want to use the rest of it for my smaller jump rings. I'm going to really carefully, okay, slide this off, and it should slide off just like that. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of put my lens in focus here for you a little bit so you can see the image a little bit better. I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to cut it in each area where I've got one full wraparound. Okay, so it's a little tough to see, but I'm going to hold this up so you guys can kind of see a little bit better. So I'm going to clip right here on my first rung and just clip that completely off. So where that ends, all right, or where I clipped it right there, I'm going to clip the next rung. So I'm going to go in with my snips again. I'm going to clip that so I've got one full jump ring. Then I'm going to clip the next one. Oop, that one doesn't want to clip as easily. See what I'm doing here. Here's my second one. Here's my third one. 4 and 5, okay? So now if I hold these up, you guys can probably notice that the opening is still a little, you know, my jump ring's got that little tiny piece of opening. And what I want you guys to do is just use your fingers, and you can actually push that right back in to kind of close it as best you can. But essentially you do want it to be a nice solid ring going all the way around so that it holds the earring and it doesn't fall apart. If you notice that there's still a gap, I do have needle nose pliers, and you guys are welcome to actually push that gap closed, but for the most part, and I know it's kind of tough to see, there's a small little point that actually latches that together, so it's a full circle. But you're going to want to make 5 of those, and I will come around and give you guys a Ziploc bag. You guys can put all your jump rings inside of a Ziploc bag and write your name on the outside of it. And then the smaller ones, it's the same concept. You're only using a skinnier dowel, so I would recommend take your your ring or your wire. Oops, I'm gonna really try to push that around there. You might have to hold it so that the wire overlaps, but for the most part, you're just gonna wrap it as tight as you can. This one's definitely gonna be a little bit harder for you to do, but it's the same idea. And if you have a hard time with wrapping it, okay, help one another. Ask a neighbor if they seem to get it and you're struggling, okay, but you're just gonna go right down the line with the snips. Ooh. You're just gonna snip off each little rung. So there's 1, 2. That one doesn't want to snip. See, 3. Oops. Come on. 4. And then my last one. Get a little closer so I can see. Oops. Figures last one does want to come off. 5. And then again, for these ones that are really tiny, so putting those ends together might be kind of hard with your fingers, but needle nose pliers, 2 separate pliers, you can use those and kind of push them together so that they stay really close. Okay? And that's how you make jump rings, guys. So you'll need 5 of each, 5 big ones, 5 small ones. Keep them in a bag. And again, I'll come around and check those just like your beads for grade. Okay? I'll see you later. Good luck.